especially for the everyday South African who is not able to access a train, who is not able to enjoy quality infrastructure in some parts. For that part of the conversation, we're going to be speaking to the Public Works and Infrastructure Minister, Mr. Sihle Zikalala, to help us understand what it is that South Africa has learned from other countries and what it is that we can look forward to in the future, especially in terms of infrastructure development. Thank you very much, sir, for your time this afternoon. If we talk about expanding BRICS, if we talk about the Silk Road and Belt Initiative by China, if we talk about what Vladimir Putin said yesterday in terms of creating almost an infrastructure body that's going to be taking a look at how we can work together, how does South Africa fit in there when we take a look at our infrastructure?
South Africa fits in because while it is a country with solid infrastructure, in some areas the infrastructure backlog is too high. And in some areas the infrastructure is dilapidating because it is old and it has not been properly managed. And therefore the formation of a dedicated team that will cooperate on how to develop infrastructure is important. As I speak, yesterday I had a detailed engagement with China Construction and Communication Cooperation on how to take forward the partnership around the construction of small harbours. So there are a number of projects that we believe through exchange of knowledge and through investment we can stimulate as BRICS countries.
The team to develop infrastructure, is that a South African-based team?
We have ISA, which is Infrastructure South Africa, which is working as an entity within the Department of Public Works to develop a pipeline of infrastructure, and we package them into bankable projects. And then we go out to the market to get investors to invest in infrastructure. And that's why we would go out easily to engage with countries that are within the BRICS, but also to engage with the new development bank.
When you speak of engaging partners in BRICS, what about partners on the continent as well? It would be wonderful to take a train from here to Tanzania or a train from here to our neighbours.
Yes, that is very important. We are working hard to ensure that railway lines in the country itself are improved and we move to at least fast trains. And that will make the life of our communities easy. But with time, we will need to connect with Africa in terms of rail. What we see happening in other countries, in other continents, it's what we must introduce also here, where we can then have trains that goes to Tanzania, trains that goes to Zimbabwe and Zambia. So we will have to coordinate that going forward.
Okay. There is a concept in South Africa of construction mafias. Is it safe to say, one, that this poses a threat to South Africa's growth in terms of infrastructure development? If so, if it does indeed pose a threat, what are some of the plans in the pipeline?
It does pose a threat of which we are addressing. The way to deal with this is to ensure that we take decisive actions to address this as a criminal activity. And such actions include working with police to ensure that those who are doing that are arrested. We have also established a hotline where we will allow the constructors on site to report in that hotline. And that will also be taken straight to police so that there is a quick response to such criminal activities. But at the same time, we must also not pay a blind eye on the issue of transformation. At the same time, we want to bring everyone on board on transformation. The President has been speaking, saying, leave no one behind. And we can't say those who want to participate to construction and the build industry must be left outside because they don't have enough skills, they don't have money. We must mobilize them, train them, ensure that we link them with institutions that will help them to participate in this industry.
And that was going to be my next question in terms of government's understanding of this problem, right? Or the phenomena of the so-called construction mafia. What is the understanding? Because you speak to some researchers and they'll tell you exactly that these are some people who feel that they have been excluded. So there are constructors who come to their spaces, they don't get an opportunity, they do not get a chance to be absorbed or to at least be trained to take part in the development of their own spaces.
You are quite correct, and that's why as government we have now moved to say, let us have a team that deal with facilitation, and let's have clear principle. The principle of 30% localization in any project that is above 30 million is quite honest and should be practiced throughout. We should then be able to define localization. To which extent we talk about localization? Is it a district? Is it a municipality? The common analysis would say it should be a district, where if you are going to a district council to do a big project, you will then, when you reach there, get people who are involved in construction and then subcontract them.
Bob Zikalala, and this may be a simple question, but you've got South Africans, when we speak about infrastructure, for instance, people who are stuck for hours in morning traffic because a particular road has not been extended, and this has been years in the making. You've got the issue right now, a few months ago, that we dealt with, where infrastructure was not being maintained, and therefore people in Hammanskraal had to deal with the issue of cholera. When we speak about maintenance, when we speak about expansion, where are we?
We are working hard on expansion. You would have seen N1, N3 and N2 being extended. So those projects are going on. You'll find that Central focus in particular areas and will not be able to cover the whole country once. If you go to Durban, you will see the expansion that is taking place in Durban. Whether you go to the south or you go up to Maritzburg, there is a huge project of expansion. It is ongoing. The same with Free State. We are attending to some roads in Free State. So there are projects that are ongoing as we speak.
Maybe in particular, more pointedly, from your department, have there been any MOUs that have been signed? Are we bringing anything from any other country? Or Are there any donations?
Yes, as I said, yesterday I met with the China Construction and Communication Corporation. They are going to fund the feasibility study of building new harbors in Northern Cape, Eastern Cape and KwaZulu-Natal.
Is there anything we are giving in return, skills exchange?
Yes, there will be training in a way where we are going to recruit artisans who will be trained and come to work in these projects. And also professional services in the built industry will be supported.
Thank you very much, sir, for your time this afternoon. And that's the Public Works and Infrastructure Minister Sihle Zikalala. So plenty happening and plenty moving, A lot has been said about collaboration, right? And so it's not just a matter of taking, as Mr. Zikalala has pointed out, it's also a matter of giving, and what South Africa also has to offer. We'll be exploring this in much more detail with a number of guests that we'll be speaking to in the next few moments. You with Newzroom Afrika. Positola, it's back to you.
Thank you very much.